Now, that was definitely one of the best live shows I've seen this year. Slaughter to Prevail headlining in the US for the first time that I've seen, and it was definitely worth the 3-hour trip that it took to get there. I guess it was 6 hours in total. I didn't get to make a video, obviously, before the show. I got off of work at around 4:30. In the show, Attila's set time literally started at 7:30, so I asked to get off work an hour early. So I skipped my lunch and proceeded to go to the show. Everything was all good, and I actually found a great parking space. I think it was like $16.95. I'm just going to call it $20 to park right next to the venue, and I believe it's called the Midland Theater there in Kansas City. And that is my favorite venue in Kansas City so far. I've only been to like 3 or 4 of them, but it was a great venue, and it's nice that they have a parking garage literally right next to the venue attached, and it's like 5 levels down. And I got there, parked, went to the venue, and it was kind of a little line to get into the venue, but obviously it was moving really quick. And after that, I went to check out all the merch, because normally when you go into like looking for the venue merch, it's all in one spot together. But here it was weird because they had Slaughter to Prevail in one merch line, and then they had Whitechapel and Attila in a separate like table and area. Like as soon as I walked into the venue, they had one merch line with all of Slaughter to Prevail stuff on one wall, and then as soon as you walk into the venue further and around the corner, they had Attila and Whitechapel stuff. So I haven't seen that before, but it was honestly a lot more efficient, and I wonder if it helps with the long lines, because they were about equal length lines, and I'm assuming every time I saw the Whitechapel and Attila line, it was a lot of people for Whitechapel and unfortunately not a lot for Attila. I personally only bought merch from Whitechapel and Slaughter to Prevail, but I didn't buy merch until I was leaving the venue because the lines were crazy every time I went and checked it out. So Attila was first on the set list, and they just released their new album, Concrete Throne, I think is the name of it. I'm not 100% sure. Attila, they're not my biggest rotation in my playlist by any means, but they were a good party band, and they set the energy off right, and it was kind of turning me into a fan there at the end of the set. And it was nice too, because at the end of the set, the singer was very nice. He said he's going to the merch table, and I'm assuming he took a bunch of pictures of everybody there. So super nice. I love it when artists do that. After that, we had Whitechapel going on stage, and I've seen Whitechapel plenty of times. I think they're probably my most viewed artist at this point. But Phil is killing it, and I know they were just, this is the 3rd show in a row for them in this tour, even though it just started. So I was kind of suspecting a little strain on the vocals for Alex and Phil, but they both sounded amazing, at the top of the game right now. And I think Phil's obviously the GOAT of the genre, and he kind of just proves it every time I see him. And I really appreciate their set. It's very clean. There's not a lot of tracks compared to a lot of other artists out right now, and I just appreciate it every time I see their set. And I always try to support them. And for the merch, I got a Craig figurine. It was like $100. I'm not even gonna lie. And I was kind of like debating in my head. I'm like, this is way too much. But I had to support them. I love that album. I love Craig. I love everything about it. I'll probably make a separate unboxing video about the Craig figurine statue. And then I bought a South Park sticker for like $10, I think. They had a sick shirt that I was gonna buy too, but I already spent all this money, and I bought a signed poster for $25. So I'm out $135 already, and the shirt was $50. But the design is really cool. I'll put it up here. I can find it on the Instagram or something. The designs were so cool. I think Whitechapel has some of the best merch out of all the bands, really. I mean, I go to a lot of shows, a lot of different genres and stuff, and I just consistently love Whitechapel's merch. I don't know. I know they have different artists for different designs and everything, but just across the board, I think it's consistently just amazing merch, and I love Whitechapel's designs. I am going to be going to another show in this tour, though, so I will probably end up getting that shirt there because I'm not going to buy everything else again. So they also had pins there that I would have normally bought, but I've already had those pins from previous shows. Like I said, I would have bought the shirt if it wasn't $50, but I'll buy it at the next show. And I spent $135 just on Whitechapel merch, which is kind of crazy. And now I have 3 Whitechapel posters. Yeah, 3 signed Whitechapel posters framed up, and they have the signed vinyl that was $60. It used to be $50, and I'm not sure if it's a different variant. I already have 2 signed vinyl variants of Hymns and Dissonance, so I didn't think I needed a third. I just ended up buying those 3 things, and I'm quite happy with everything I purchased from them. And I always love seeing Whitechapel. I can't recommend them enough. Check out their new record and go see them live. You will not regret it, as they're just amazing and the perfect definition of a deathcore band, in my opinion. Moving on to Slaughter to Prevail is what everybody's hyped for. Just getting off with the stage design. Also, I didn't mention this in the other stage design, is the drummers for Attila and Whitechapel are like set really low on the stage. And then I don't know if that was just because Slaughter to Prevail stuff was in the way and they couldn't. But the drummer, Brandon, for Whitechapel and the drummer for Slaughter to Prevail are insane. Like some of the best drummers I've seen live in my entire life. They're just crazy athletic, durable, and the amount of stamina those guys have is just ridiculous. I'd love to interview Brandon from Whitechapel, who is the drummer. But anyways, getting sidetracked, Slaughter to Prevail stage design was sick. They had one of those huge blow-up grizzly things in the background, kind of like Trivium had with their Poison, or the Ascendancy thing. I don't remember what the logo or the mascot of that album's called. I'm blanking. Like I said, I'm kind of sleep deprived. But it was super cool stage design, and they sounded amazing. And I don't know how Alex sounds like this live, because I swear I saw a video of him saying he had to have multiple tracks to like make the zombie noise, or what sounds like the zombie noise from like Call of Duty, in the vocals, and he did it live. So I don't know if he had like a backing track with it live or how it was done, but it sounded exactly like it does on the record.
Is like some kind of fact. I answered this question many times, but now I will show you exactly how it is. Usually when I record my vocals, I only record 1 track, but many vocalists record like 2, 3, even fucking 4 tracks sometimes to make the vocals sound more powerful and strong. But come on guys, I don't need this. But here I use 2 tracks. So on the 1 track, I record my signature low control vocals, and for that, I just open my throat as much as possible, tense all of this muscle so I can hold my atoms out and stay in the low position, and my tongue, I lift it like this. So it sounds like this. And then I do the 2nd track, and I use the same low, but I do it like in the highest range. I place my tongue in the natural position, and I open my mouth as like wide as I can. So I just take this 1 track, and the 2nd one, I lay over 2nd on the 1, and voila, bellissimo, it sounds like this. Do I use a...
And he is a great showman, and their set was just crazy. I did dip out of the set after the Ronnie Radke song came on. It was like I'm Dead or whatever, I think is the name of it. Because, like I said, I did have a 3-hour drive back. I didn't get home until 1 a.m. and then I had to get up at 6 a.m. and go to work, which I'm currently on the lunch break on right now. So that's pretty much why I left so early. I did miss about half of their set, but I will be seeing the entire set in full in the upcoming show here. I think it is on April 21st or April 20th or something like that, which is basically in like 3 weeks or so. So I'm super excited to see that, and that show is on a Friday and not a Monday, so I'm not going to be completely destroyed sleep-wise. It was well worth the drive there. For Slaughter to Prevail, they had a bunch of merch. They had like a $230 microphone for Alex's stage mic or whatever, and then they had like a mask and a bunch of other stuff. They didn't have any like vinyls or any CDs or anything of their latest album, and I'm not sure why, but it's kind of hard to guess when they got to import everything from like different areas and countries and stuff. So that's always kind of hard to guess and assume. But I did buy a $20 patch, which kind of $20 for a patch is kind of crazy in hindsight, I believe. And I bought something else, I want to say, from them, but I don't recall. Oh, I bought the guitar pick for Jack. It's like a Beavis and Butthead $5 guitar pick because I thought that was funny. If they had like a $15 like random mystery guitar pick case. Anyway, super good tour. kind of crazy price though on the merch, and I think that's kind of due to the venue fee, Large Prevail, and them importing everything. And it just sucks because I'm pretty sure they had like stocking hats that were like $50. Who's spending $50 on a stocking hat? T-shirts are $50, and like just the hoodie sweatshirts are $80. It's like, who's spending this much money on just clothing for bands? Like, I want to spend that much money, but merch prices gotta get a grip on the merch prices. But I don't really have any complaints about the tour or the show. I'm super excited to see the next show. And if you watched this song in the video, I really appreciate you for watching. And if you're checking out one of these shows, let me know what your thoughts are down below, and I'll see you next one.
Do something.